Hello. Hi, my name is Nicole Lynn, and today I'm recording my part 2 of my unboxed Deathlet with me. So in this video, I'm just doing a review of what I have read. Actually, after recording that video, I got the series done in like 2 weeks. I got it done so quick. And yeah, I'll just first say I definitely recommend this series to manga lovers, even to people who don't love manga. I feel like this is a great introduction into the manga world. If you're new to the manga world, like I am, pretty new to it, I recommend this for sure, especially if you like psychological warfare. And there's guns and shooting in here too, not just psychological, it's war. So yeah, in this video I'm gonna do a quick summary, some information about the characters, but there will be no spoilers in this video, don't worry about that. Yeah, so this story is about a psycho murderer using a death note that was dropped into the human world by a Shinigami just because he was bored. So in the Shinigami realm, there's a bunch of these Shinigamis sitting around doing nothing. So this one Shinigami, Ryuk, was bored. Here he is right here. Dropped his book into the human world. And, well, at the time, he wasn't a psycho. He was a genius student who lied. His name is Light, a genius student, getting into one of the greatest colleges, just top of the class, very smart, intelligent guy. And there's a fine line between genius and insanity, which is something I've heard. So this book was really placed in the wrong hands for sure. At first he's just a normal college kid, and then he starts to murder criminals. He starts to murder criminals, and he thinks that's okay. He thinks the world would be a better place without criminals. So that's where he starts, that's where the series starts. The police cannot solve this case. They cannot find this killer. They don't even know what's going on because people are dropping dead in jail. So the death note, you write down someone's name, you have to know their face, and you can write a reason how they die. You can write how they die. Or if you don't write anything, they die from a heart attack. All the rules are in this booklet right here. Death Note rules. So this is where L comes into place. The top genius detective of the world. He has never failed solving any case. And it's funny because L suspects Light right away. The first book, he suspects him. He's like, Light is Kira. But L doesn't do anything unless there's proof. So throughout the series, L and Kira are just getting at each other, and it's funny because they're actually very similar and they could be good friends. There's this Shinigami eyes where you can make a deal with the Shinigami where you can give up half of your life to be able to see people's names and when they're gonna die, or at least people's names if you do the trade. The Shinigamis can see people's names when they're gonna die, but I think the Death Note owner can only just see the name. So yeah, you'll see how that all pans out, how people protect each other and they use fake names. Like for example, L, we never know his real name. You find it out by opening up this book, and there's this special card with L's face on it, and his real name is on the card, which was never, no one has ever said the name in the book, so it's pretty interesting. He goes by so many names, Ryuzaki. Oh, I don't know if I introduced him, but here he is, my drawing of L right here. L's my favorite character. He always has been. When I first discovered anime on the internet, I was like, he's so cute, that guy, L. And I still think he's cute. I was really young too. I was actually like a little girl, but I just never like read it or watched it until I was a teenager. And throughout the story, more characters come through. Misa comes. Misa's great. Love Misa. She's funny. She's the one who's obsessed with Light. She's so us the readers, we know who the killer is. No one else in the book knows except Misa, and the demons know that Light is the killer. Light will do anything to get what he wants. So pretty much, he was kind of normal in the beginning, and throughout the story goes on, he gets more and more psycho. Something that triggered him, and he literally doesn't give a shit who gets in his way. He doesn't care if it's his family or whatever. He doesn't want anybody in his way of his master plan, which gets interrupted several times. And he always tries to find a way to get around, to get rid. He's always just getting rid of people in the story. I'm not saying it doesn't mean people are dying, but read the story, you'll see. His master plan is he wants to be God, and he wants to get rid of the world of criminals. But he is a huge hypocrite because he's the friggin' mass criminal going on, murdering so many people in this Death Note. Yeah, more characters get introduced. Greedy businessmen try to steal his idea of like killing criminals, and it has to become a world sensation. It's not just about two geniuses having psychological warfare with each other, but it's kind of about the friggin' like nations of the world trying to solve this case, because Light is so good at concealing his identity, and he's just amazing at manipulating people to do exactly what he wants, using people's feelings, and for some reason he gains like a huge following and fans, probably out of fear, to be honest. He wanted to control the world out of fear. So although he thinks he's doing a good thing for the world by killing criminals, it gets very out of hand. You'll read the story. It gets too out of hand. It's not. He gets too obsessed with the whole idea, and he turns himself friggin' insane. Literally in the last book, you'll see how psycho he becomes. All he cares about is winning. He wants to be number one. He wants to be God. So, and he is number one in his high school class going into college. Maybe this is a span of like 6 years, 4 to 6 years the series is. Yeah, I totally recommend it. If you like psychological warfare, if you like solving cases, if you like that kind of stuff, detective, police, that is all in here. There's funny moments. I think Misa like kind of really lightens up the story. It's a very dark story. Misa lightens it up. She's really funny, and so is Matsuda. He's really freaking funny too. Like, you kind of really like these characters in this book. Not in this book, in this series. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good description of the story. Death Note is one of the most famous and known mangas and animes out there. This is very famous. It was written a long time ago too. You'll see the dates in the book. I think like 2006 or something like that. Seems like a long time ago. I was young when this came out, but I didn't get into it until I was older in my life. I'm glad I did. It was a good experience. It's one of those stories where, yeah, you just want to know what's next. They always leave it on a cliffhanger. It doesn't get boring. It's always interesting, you know. You read right through the story quickly. I'm actually gonna watch the anime again, because yeah, I want to see how the anime and this match up, because sometimes manga and anime is different. They will change the order around, or sometimes they will literally add a character that's not in the book but it's in the anime or something, which they definitely don't do. I'm pretty sure these are the same exact story in the manga versus the anime. I also recommend reading this in one go. Don't I mean, you could if you really want to, but you might get a little lost. It's pretty easy to know what's going on in every book. Like, you can get back on track if you read something else for a little while, but I just recommend reading this in one go. There's 12 books. It's a very quick read. And the overall feeling and experience will be better after reading it in one sitting. You don't have to read it in 2 weeks, but you read it. Don't read anything else while you read this. Okay, so I think I'm done explaining everything that I wanted to explain. And I'll totally read this series again. It's one of those where I want to read it again. I keep wanting to read it. I would say if I were to compare this manga to others, this is very, the story is very to the point. The whole goal is Light needs to be exposed. He needs to be found. Someone needs to take him down. There's no really side quests, side adventures. There's no exploring somewhere else. There's none of that. It's mostly we're hanging out with these guys in their detective headquarters, solving the case. We're solving the case with them. Sometimes the story will go off to a character. Like, it's not going to be on Light the whole time. It'll move to Rem or Misa or Ryuk or some of the other characters. We're going to have some scenes with just them in it. Behind the scenes, when we figure out something about the case, someone else doesn't know about it. You'll see how it all pans out. It's really good. So I hope you liked my video, and I hope you'll read Death Note. And if you have any questions about the series or anything else, just leave a comment and I will answer. Someone actually reminded me they commented on my first video, the unbox video, and they're just like, is there gonna be a review video? I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of doing that for some reason, so thanks for giving me the idea. I also didn't have time in the past few months. I literally didn't have time to do this, but I found time today, and I'm glad I did it. Thank you, and goodbye.